Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the NFC West Round Table, the AZ Sports fan in my corner, and in the bottom, Sheriff Joe Bag Ram Showcase. And last but not least, Steezy Not Here Smith today.
Gotta love it. I love when you host, man. I always feel like we're about to wrestle each other every time. Like, I don't know. I feel like this like Michael Buffer kind of
it's
thing.
Very let's get ready to rumble. Yeah. That's what
it is, right? Nice, brother. All right, cool, man.
Yeah. So let's get on to the 53-man roster. Okay, we'll start off with AZ Sports fan. Who was the most surprising cut for the Arizona Cardinals that caught you by surprise?
Man, dude. So, okay, I don't know if it happened to your guys' team as well, but I was promised 1 p.m. AZ time, and I got this dang 53-man roster like 2.5 hours later. I was pissed. Anyways, there was a lot of surprising cuts. Honestly, I think one of the biggest one was, if you guys haven't heard, the whole drama situation that's surrounding the Arizona Cardinals, that Malcolm Butler, our cornerback that was supposed to replace Patrick Peterson, has officially retired. He's no longer going to be playing cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals. And obviously we'll dive into that a little deeper, but that was a surprise cut. There was another player that was pretty surprising to me as well. That was Greg Deutsch. I talked about him a couple different times on the other streams that we had. An awesome wide receiver that I was really hoping that he was going to get the opportunity, but guess he didn't get it. So there's a few other ones, but it definitely seems like it's going to be pretty good here, though. Where'd he go?
I have no idea. He's the host and he's gone.
Right? Oh my goodness.
I've been at work all day. And it was kind of a crazy day, so I actually did not see that Malcolm Butler news, man. That's what. Do you know what went into that decision?
Yeah, man, it's wild. So since he's not here, let's talk a little bit about it. Yeah. So basically, a couple days back, so yesterday we got news that he was contemplating retirement, and the reason why it was because he was going, like, there was a personal issue that was happening with his life. That's it. That was all the information that we've gotten. Obviously, the Cardinal fans and the fan base got crazy, and we were kind of worried because he's supposed to be our replacement of Patrick Peterson. So we felt comfortable with him, but obviously we didn't know we didn't think he was a long-term solution. But today we finally got the word that he's retiring. Now, I don't know. It's super weird because Malcolm Butler has scrubbed everything Arizona Cardinals related from his Instagram, from his Twitter, from everything. So I think it's something a little bit more to it. Now, I'm not sure if it's, the whole vaccine situation. It might be that, he didn't want to do it. Who knows? But there's something that's a little bit more within the front office in him that I don't think he was happy with, and he just decided to retire. So his contract is void, and we need to start looking around for another quarterback.
Do you think that potentially he was going to be cut?
I don't think he was. I think that I think the situation was that because obviously the NFL has put that, that kind of that rule in place where if you have non-vaccinated players and there's an outbreak within your locker room, you're going to forfeit the game. And I maybe think the front office maybe got with all the unvaccinated players and say, hey, maybe you need to do it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just speculating at this point, but something serious happened in order for him to void his 1-year deal. So he's no longer the cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals.
So who's starting on the outside now?
So right now we have Byron Murphy, which is his 3rd year. He used to primarily play on the slot. And then we have Robert Alford, which this guy, we signed him to a 3-year deal. He was hurt 2 years. This is his 3rd year. So that's very concerning. He hasn't put a real snap in 2 years. And we're going to be starting a rookie that we got in 4th round, Marco Wilson out of Florida. Have you guys heard anything from did you guys hear that situation where a guy threw a shoe at somebody in a college game? It's him. Yeah, so you can look it up. But he's good. Like, honestly, I've seen some good things out preseason from him. Like, that was the main joke.
That Florida corner, right?
Yes, the Florida corner, exactly. Yeah, Marco Wilson. We actually see some good stuff, but that was the inside joke. When the moment we drafted him, if you look up on YouTube, Marco Wilson's shoe, it will show you him throwing a shoe at an LSU player. It's freaking hilarious.
But has somebody put it with an Austin Powers meme, though? Has that happened yet?
Not yet. You might be the guy to do it, though.
Somebody in the comments do that. All right.
Right.
That is a big one, though. That's a big surprise. Were there other surprises?
That's mainly it, man. That's the biggest thing that happened for the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, we're kind of scrambling around right now, trying to find that another corner either for depth or whatever the situation might be. So that's the biggest thing.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and jump in on my surprises here. Really.
Okay, so what's your?
What's up? Oh, am I good? Okay. Well,
what's your surprising cut for the Rams? And then I'll
okay. Yeah. So we did have a couple that were a little bit surprising, but I actually predicted one of them, and that was linebacker Micah Kaiser, who was the starter last year. I had him on my cut prediction that I put out last week, and it got called crazy by a couple Rams fans, saying that there's no way they're going to cut Micah Kaiser, stuff like that. But then I'm sitting in Denver last week, watching the Rams play the Broncos in the preseason game, and he's out there in the fourth quarter playing linebacker, and it's like, are we really gonna keep this guy if we're gonna put him out in the fourth quarter in our final preseason game? Like that kind of solidified a little bit to me. A couple of other names that kind of popped out a little bit because there weren't really any that big of surprises, but Justin Lawler, who really popped in our first preseason game against the Chargers, he was being talked about as like a potential breakout guy after that, and I talked about that on here, but the two following games just really had trouble separating off some offensive linemen, so not super surprised by that. Bronte Harris, I was a little bit surprised. I thought he would sneak in there, but the Rams actually only kept 4 corners, so 6 safeties, but only 4 corners. So I think that was part of it there. But really, other than that, I wouldn't say there's any surprises on our cuts. It was pretty straightforward. There was a couple that I predicted wrong. I kind of tried to be a little bit sly and get some bigger names, maybe get people talking and all that. But that was about it for our surprise.
Hey, I'm not gonna let you go without talking about Sony freaking Michel, man. You gotta trade this last one. What are you doing with yourself, man? Come on, now talk to me. How are you feeling about it?
Dude, I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it. It was I wasn't really anticipating bringing in anybody. I really thought that we were going to be good, but in that second preseason game against the Raiders, we actually had Raymond Calais. He broke his foot, and so he's actually out for the year. So that one I think kind of played a factor. And then actually also Xavier Jones, who we've kind of been talking about as being like an RB2 behind Darrell Henderson, he actually is hurt now as well, and he's actually going to be I believe he's going to start the season on the PUP. So having Darrell Henderson and now Sony Michel, I think that's a really strong combo. I think that they'll complement each other really well. I really wasn't expecting it, but we heard from Rams general manager Les Snead that Michel is actually one of the guys that they kind of targeted once the Cam Akers injury happened. Like they were kind of keeping their eyes on him specifically. So, hey, man, when your team is all excited about a player, that makes the fans a little bit more excited. So yeah, man, I'm pumped to see what Sony Michel can do. It looks like he's rocking number 14, so that's going to be a little bit weird to get used to. But hey, I'm excited for it, man. In this division, you need a run game, man. These defenses are too damn good.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Steezy, man. I'm just Steezy. CG, what you got over there, man? Any?
Oh man, that's surprising that you guys cut him. Oh. Yeah, you know what the surprising cut for me personally was? I thought we would have kept HaHa Clinton-Dix. We would have just automatically think he would be the guy, but Jaquiski Tartt came from injuries. He's looking like he's getting back to form a little bit from a turf toe. The one that was surprising to me as the most surprising candidate cut that I didn't expect coming was Wayne Gallman. I thought he was going to prove himself because he was being like a bell cow. He's durable. He's a very
He's going to keep falling off, I think. But, yeah, man, there was a couple surprises from the Niners. I'm trying to remember which ones surprised myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back. Like I said, I was at work all day, so I was kind of like trying to get in there and trying to like keep up with stuff. But
Wayne Gallman was the one that caught me a little bit by surprise, and then this reception killed me, and it cut me by surprise too. But that guy, he had ball security, very good pass blocker, but we kept Jermichael Hesty, and then supposedly we kept Elijah Mitchell. We cut Richie James, which he was long overdue. And as far as the team in general, dude, like I didn't even think we were going to keep Jalen Hurd, but this guy only played one single practice and one preseason game, and he stood out for one reason, but he dropped a lot of passes, man. Like, how can you stand out with just 4 catches and not contribute much.
I feel
I don't know, dude. Maybe the reception's cutting me off, just like my team.
I love it, man.
Bro,
it's so good.
You scared me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's why I'm laughing. Like, you scared the out of me. Like, we were talking about something that you just
not looking
right
good,
back.
bro.
So good. Oh man.
All right, let's focus.
I don't know what's going on, dude. This damn reception just keeps killing it.
We're doing great.
Yeah. So okay. So you named them some good candidates. So
Yeah,
any word about Trey Lance for you, man? I know we keep bugging you about it, but I feel like that's like one of the biggest storylines, man. And is there anything you see in this last game that you like from him?
Quarterback switch, like rotation, was kind of weird when we did it against the Raiders. Like when Jimmy moved down the field, you were thinking for a second, why were we playing Trey on that play alone? It was kind of like, like Craig Morton and Roger Staubach back in the day when they did that. That was kind of a little weird, but maybe that's what the plan is. Maybe sometimes we might do a little play with Trey Lance, little mix, like kind of like a Taysom Hill package.
There was actually, who was it? I think it was might have been Rich Eisen said that that he, based on what he's seen so far in preseason, he doesn't know if Jimmy G will take a snap in the red zone at all. Like it'll just be Trey Lance. Like when they get down there, it's Trey Lance time,
Yeah.
And that would be such an interesting twist to a game plan, and trying to use those two quarterbacks. I do think that would make it a little bit more difficult to move off of Jimmy G like full time, but that'd be, I mean, it would be a little bit interesting to see that happen.
I think
I don't know, bro. It's just like how I'm getting cut like Wayne Gallman, bro. They're cutting me like Wayne Gallman in the reception.
Yeah, that's the next cut. Is your cell phone provider? All right. That's
I gotta make a change. I gotta get a new phone, anyways. That new phone is cutting me off.
Should we
all right, so let's get on to the situation with.
Right.
Okay, so optimistically, how do you guys feel about your team going into the regular season matchup? I know we play the Detroit Lions, so the Detroit Lions, I know they're considered underdogs, and I know some people may paper us like the team that will just run the ball and stomp on them. I don't know if that's the case, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. How do you guys feel about your matchup against your Week 1 opponents?
So my Week 1 opponent is going to be the Tennessee Titans, and dang, what a good time, right, to lose the best cornerback when you have Julio Jones, A.J. Brown to deal with, and King Henry in the back. I am not happy. I'm not confident. I think as long as we can put a valiant effort, if we can keep it close, I think that's a win for the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, I would want to win, obviously, but I think it's a tall task to ask, especially because the Malcolm Butler thing just happened. And we're going to start a rookie, man. A rookie is going to be starting. And then we have, Byron Murphy as well as Robert Alford, most likely is going to be the other cornerback. So not confident.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not confident at all. So I'll throw it over to
you guys start with a tough schedule. I think that, I think the conversation will be, especially after the first 5 weeks, because I don't know if the Cardinals' record will be strong after 5 weeks. So, 5 or 6 weeks, they're a lot of very good teams early on. So I think a lot of the conversation, especially here and around other areas, will be well, the Cardinals weren't what we thought they were going to be, anything.
Yeah.
But they're playing good teams. To start against the Titans are a hell of a team, man. They're no joke. So that's tough to begin with, for sure.
No, you're 100% right, man. Let's look at the schedule. So Titans, Vikings. Well, Jaguars might have, hopefully we can beat them, but we can't. Shoot. Let's get out of that. But then we got the Rams, and then the freaking 49ers right after that. So, it's going to be a tough stretch fight for the first 5 weeks. So you're 100% right, man.
Yeah, definitely tough. I'm feeling pretty good, though. We got the Bears Week 1. Andy Dalton looks like they're standing strong with that they're going to go ahead and start him. That's cool. Dude. That's cool for us. If Andy Dalton wants to meet Aaron Donald, that's fine with me. But, I'm feeling pretty good about that game. I know that, losing Cam Akers obviously hurt, but we got Darrell Henderson from last year, bringing in Sonny Michel. I think that'll help our offense. I think it will be a slow, probably first half, since none of our starters have played. We haven't seen Matthew Stafford out there. We haven't seen our starting offensive line. We haven't seen those guys out there yet. So I think it'll take just a little bit to get into their rhythm. But, the Bears, honestly, this always comes back to bite me, but they don't really scare me that much in this one. But, I'm feeling pretty good. We do have, some tough games early on as well. I mean, the Bucs in week 3 is a tough one for sure. We go up to Indy week 2. I think that's a tougher game than it gets credit for. So, yeah, definitely some tough ones. But against the Bears, that first one, I feel pretty good about it, honestly. I think we can take them.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to like the Bears. Like seriously, like I get like why they're doing it. They don't want to throw Fields out there, but I don't know, man. Like it's kind of like the whole Trey Lance thing to me. It's like why not? Like why the heck not? That's their future, man. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's I guess it's one of those situations because like I almost feel like they're starting Dalton because he was signed before the draft, and they told him he was quarterback 1. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the only reason. I feel like if he was signed, maybe they didn't tell him he was there to start or something like that, or maybe if he was just brought in a little bit later that he wouldn't necessarily be starting over Fields. Because I think we can all agree, based on what we've seen out of Fields and some of these other rookies, not just Fields, but like even Lawrence, Lance, Mac Jones, some of these rookies are looking really strong right now. So yeah, I don't think there's any other reason not to start Fields except for they don't want to hurt Andy Dalton's feelings, I think.
You might be right on that one, man. You absolutely might be right. And that's why I always kind of go back to CG over here and saying, man, Trey Lance looked pretty darn good. Let me tell you that.
I picked him for their game against the Seahawks. I think that's when Trey Lance starts.
You think?
Well, for them, I mean, Dalton's like the bridge quarterback, so of course you're going to expect the Chicago Bears to play a veteran, but you want Justin Fields to be ready. Everybody's praising this guy like he's going to be like a Deshaun Watson, but I think the Rams should be able to have an advantage against a guy like Andy Dalton, who's
not as mobile as a Justin Fields, maybe.
Right.
I don't know if that's where he was going with that, but
I think it might have been. we need to figure this stuff out here. Yeah, but I agree, man. We'll definitely dive more into it in terms of like the previews next week because we're going to be rocking this out again every week. We're supposed to be doing this, and hopefully we get all this internet connection buggy.
Yeah, let me see because I was looking at the schedules. I was looking at all the NFC West schedules, and I was trying to figure out like when certain things would happen. And for the Niners, it was really when is Lance going to start? Because we know it's going to happen, and I think it might benefit them to have it happen with enough time to still maybe hit the trade, like the trade market for Jimmy. And, you know, it'll be at that time where I'm sure we'll see at least a couple of injuries in there somewhere, unfortunately, you know, but you'll see. I'm trying to figure out when their game is. I was looking at it earlier. I thought it was pretty early, but maybe I'm wrong. Because I think that would be a good one. I was looking at like when's their big games, but when's a big home game for them, you know? So like because there was one that I saw that was I'm gonna pull up their schedule right now.
Yeah, so I got it right here. So I got the Lions.
Yeah. So you don't need Lance in that one. That's like you feel good about that one. Eagles, they're probably going to be picking like number 2 overall. So
right, you got the Green Bay Packers next.
That's a tough one. So I don't know if you put him in that one, especially that's a primetime game as well. I don't know if you put Lance in that situation. And then they're home against the Seahawks. I think that's a good spot to do it because then they're on the road after that at the Arizona Cardinals. So you get him that start in there before he hits the road for a division game. But I think being at home, that would be against a very strong division opponent. I mean, that's kind of redundant in this division, but a strong division opponent, you're at home. It's not prime time necessarily, so I mean, you're just in the afternoon slot. I think that's a good time. It is early for sure, but I don't think that once the season begins, I think that Shanahan's really going to start itching to play his new shiny toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to wait. I was originally saying like week 8, 9. I think it's going to be way ahead of that now, especially considering the way that Jimmy G and Trey Lance have each been playing in preseason. I think that'll be a pretty quick transition.
I agree, man. And I heard some 49er fans that are, you know, they want to see him already. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
The expectation is they want this guy to play. They think he's ready, but in reality, we got to go with Jimmy G for right now because personally, like, you want to throw this kid in the fire. That's not going to – it's just not – a lot of us are just thinking like, oh, we're tired of Jimmy because this guy's injury prone. This guy can't do this anymore. He can't throw past 5 yards. Oh, he can't do anything. He thinks in dunks type of stuff. Like, they get fed up with this guy. Just like I'm fed up with Jalen Hurd. This guy has never proven nothing, and he made the roster. One practice, he shows out. Then in the preseason game, 4 catches. All of a sudden, this guy makes a play. You want a cookie, Jalen Hurd? This guy just hasn't proven nothing for me.
Yeah.
Did he make the roster after all? Because I know you said that he was one that he wasn't going to.
He made it. He made the roster 3 straight practice. That's all Coach Shanahan wanted, and played on the Raiders preseason game. If he made it through Mondays with no injuries, he was automatically in the roster. I'm like saying, is that how you're going to give out roster spots to guys like that? Come on.
Dang.
You don't think there's more to it? You think it was just a couple of good practices?
Couple practices doesn't mean much if you don't put out the work. You got to do it consistently. This guy's been missing 2 straight years. It's like your body just doesn't seem to handle it. But Shanahan just seems to have a heart for this guy, and he's kind of like making the excuses for him. So that's what I don't understand. But at the same time, he is a big body receiver, so you definitely want to use him in the red zone. But there's yet to be determined what he can do. Yards after the catch is what we like about him, because he did play running back at Tennessee, but then he switched to receiver at Baylor, so that could be the only intriguing thing about him. But other than that, there's just nothing special about him.
I got a question for you, CG. Before we get to this super chat here that I saw just popped up, let me get a quick. Trey Sermon, is he a player that he could be a number 1? I see him in preseason. This guy looks pretty darn good. I know Raheem Mostert might be the number 1, but Trey Sermon, man, he's good, right?
As far as like an outside looking in for fantasy football, late in the season, you might see this guy break out. Like I said what I said before, I was talking about Trey Sermon. He can be that starting running back after Raheem Mostert, because Mostert's on a contract year, so Trey Sermon's going to be the guy. It's going to be good for him to share the load with Raheem Mostert. They're going to have a good running back duel together. They're going to complement each other. But Trey Sermon's going to have to showcase more as a receiving back, which Shanahan covets the most about his running backs, and pass blocking. But Sherman's like that physical style of back that we've been missing. Sure, Jeff Wilson's kind of an okay running back, but he's a physical back also. But I think Trey Sermon has the better upside than what Shanahan's envisioned. Like, I like Trey Sermon because he hits after contact. He's very physical, very good in between the tackles. That's what I like about him. He can be your starter for next year, and don't be surprised if he leads the team in rushing after the season.
We'll see. Oh, we got shots fired already here in the super chat right here. It says the Lambs ain't winning the West. What do you got to say about that, Joe?
Yeah, well, first of all, Tommy, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you for sure. But in regards to your comment specifically, I heard today this comment when I was listening to the radio, and it said that if you asked 4 different people who's going to win the NFC West, it's very realistic that you get 4 different answers. So, you know what? If the Rams don't win this division, I still feel good that we're a damn good football team and we'll be in the postseason. I do think that the Rams do win this division, however. I think that we are extremely well-rounded right now, and I'll say it. I've said it plenty of times before. I'm going to say it again, is the improvement at the quarterback position I think will be very noticeable. I think all of the NFC West fans will see it when we play against respective teams. I think Rams fans will see it week 1. Just that, I don't know if Matthew Stafford is that much better than Jared Goff, but he's definitely not worse. You know what I mean? Like he's the mistakes is what I'm talking about. There's the limiting the mistakes is going to be a super game changer. You say that the Rams are top heavy. That is a pretty common comment in the media right now. I don't necessarily see it that much. I know that, that's people tend to look at like the Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods at the wide receiver spot, but they're not, remembering Deshaun Jackson, if he can stay healthy, that's a pretty solid weapon there. Van Jefferson, who comes back from last year, Tutu Atwell, stuff like that, are weapons at the tight end spot as well. Definitely deep at tight end. I don't know exactly where we're top heavy except for the quarterback position, which is a fine position to be top heavy at because, the backup quarterback, you want that position to ultimately be irrelevant. So as far as the top heavy comments, I would love more examples of where necessarily the Rams are top heavy because I think I like our depth, honestly. I think that we're pretty well-rounded. I don't think that we have superstars. Like Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp are not superstars, but they're very good receivers, and so are we down the line. And then you look at cornerback, of course, Jalen Ramsey, but Darius Williams is very good. David Long's very good. Robert Rochelle's really good. Got strong safeties, got depth at linebacker, no superstars there. Obviously, defensive line, we got a superstar, but good depth there. So, you know what? Maybe I'm just a little too close to it. Maybe I'm not, seeing it from the right perspective here, but I disagree with that for sure. But
I think one of the biggest things I've been hearing about the Rams, and I'm right there, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and because Sean McVay is that guy, and he's beat us 8 times in a row, so I can't really say very much stuff. But you guys lost a good amount of pieces on defense. Do you guys still think you'll bring, or at least this last offseason, I think you got that safety that you had. There was a middle linebacker that also went as well. I forgot their names. I apologize. But do you think you guys will still come back with that intensity? I know you still have Ramsey and stuff like that, Donald.
Yeah, well, John Johnson's definitely a difficult person to replace, but Jordan Fuller, I think he was the improvement that he showed last year from week 1 to 17. I mean, he climbed those rankings for sure. Taylor Rapp comes back. I'm not necessarily super high on Taylor Rapp. I think Terrell Burgess is a little bit better myself, but the team seems to like him. But we got 6 safeties that we retained on the 53 for sure. But some of the other people that we did lose, Michael Brockers, but he's getting up there. Morgan Fox I liked a lot. I think the Panthers got an absolute steal on his contract, paying him. I think the average is like $4 or $5 million a year for Morgan Fox, who was a very productive rotational player for the Rams. And then you look at the offensive side where we lost Austin Blythe, our center, and then now we're going to start Brian Allen, who's actually been on the roster since 2018. So he's been around. He's been here for some success, stuff like that. So. I'm not. Again, maybe I'm too close to it. Maybe I'm seeing these guys for. Maybe I'm kind of putting them up a little bit higher than they need to be. But I like this team right now. I think we got a lot of talent. I saw the comment come in that linebackers weak. I disagree. I think Leonard Floyd with Kenny Young and. We got Justin Hollins, who looks like he might start on the other side. That's a little bit of an unknown name for most people, but we're getting some really positive things from him out of camp. And then guys like Troy Reeder and Traven Howard. I mean, these are good players. I don't think we necessarily. I wouldn't say at linebacker for sure we got worse. I think we got better. It's everybody from last year got a year more of experience, so that's a positive.
Oh well, okay. All right. Well, as far as that, dude, like a lot of people just think of your linebacking core improving, but it doesn't mean that they are a weak spot. It just has to your team in general, like Troy Reeder and a lot of the other guys, Michael Kaiser and the others. They're not household names. A lot of people are just going to say they're unproven commodity.
Kaiser is a cut, actually. I predicted that one, so I feel good. I feel good about that, but I don't feel good about him getting cut. I was really high on Kaiser, but seeing the way he was playing in preseason, stuff like that, definitely. Yeah, and that comment comes in. That's not a comparison. That's the thing is like these linebackers it's a better group of linebackers than the 2020 Rams linebacker group, and that's what I'm comparing to. I'm not gonna come out here and say that our linebackers are the dopest in the league or the best in the West, anything like that. Because no, there's a lot of unproven talent, but they're very good players and. Guys like Kenny Young, I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. We still got Leonard Floyd, So, yeah, I just don't think it's as bad as some people say that it is, I guess.
Right. So in terms of I know Steezy ain't here to protect himself, but I've got a lot of people reaching out and saying that, the least amount of improvement of the teams has to be the Seattle Seahawks. Like they really didn't do very much this last offseason. Do you guys think that the Seattle Seahawks can finish third? Possibly even fourth, or you think Russell Wilson's always going to get contention to maybe 2 or
it's
1?
It's always a miracle with Russell Wilson. It doesn't matter how bad of an offensive line they have and their defense as bad as it is, but they just haven't done much in the offseason to get people to say, oh, they're going to win the division. I just don't know what to expect. It's the unknown commodity with Seattle because a lot of people keep sleeping on Seattle and they just somehow sneak in to win a division or make the playoffs. So it's kind of hard to just say, don't let the offseason fool you because look at the Packers. They don't go big in the offseason before, right? The Patriots, they never do, and they turn out to be okay. So it's just
by the quarterbacks, though.
Yeah, true.
I mean, for the Seahawks, and I can't believe that I'm about to take the stance of defending the Seahawks, but I like their weapons, and they've got Russell Wilson. I mean, they did improve their offensive line. They did bring in some shifts there. And then, I mean, obviously we know DK, who is Jalen Ramsey's child, and And then, bringing in Gerald Everett, I think is a really strong move for them too. They've got some solid weapons. Defense is really where I'm a little bit weary of the Seahawks. I don't think that they made. I would have to ask Steezy, unfortunately, but he's not here. He's out vacationing out in San Francisco, probably becoming a Niners fan at this point.
Right, exactly. You're gonna get another Niners fan there, Steezy.
Hey, Steezy, you could join the club. You can join the club just for this.
Yeah, they're a good team though, and they're going to be right in there. In this division, no placing of any of these teams would surprise me. I think any four of these teams can get first. I think any four of these teams can get fourth. It's all just going to be a battle of attrition a little bit, and the schedule and how it plays out.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Oh, we reached our 30-minute mark.
We did. We'll talk about funk when I host again, man. We're all aboard the funk train. I met his mom this weekend.
Yeah, excuse the delay on the reception, but yeah, we'll be on the 30-minute mark, so we'll end in about whatever time you guys want. But can't blame Steezy, man. He's been running off reception. I've been ever since Steezy's been gone, my reception's been terrible. Ever since everything's kind of been changing around.
I think we'll go ahead and blame Steezy for everything that goes wrong.
That's fair. I'm down with that.
Yeah, but in all seriously, man, we can just go by what we see in the prediction and then look forward to the regular season. So I'll give you guys your final say, and then we'll just end the stream from here if you guys want.
Yeah.
All right.
Nothing.
All right,
really,
I'll give you
what's up? Go ahead.
I was gonna let you do the talking on the solo.
Oh, gotcha. Hey, what's up, guys? So I guess what are we doing? Are we just signing off? All right, cool. Hey, my name is AZ Sports Fan, and if you want to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, go ahead and do so. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube, obviously. AZ Sports Fan. I think he's muted.
You are muted. Okay, so it's my turn. What's going on, guys? Sheriff Joe Bags here from Ram Showcase. Make sure you guys subscribe to Ram Showcase on YouTube. That's where most of the magic happens, but you can follow anywhere, any social media. That's at Ram Showcase or at Sheriff Joe Bags for sure, man. Guys, have a good night.
All right, so that's all we got for this week. Unfortunately, this has kind of been a short week, so see y'all later. CG Ruthless Sports is out, and AZ Sports Fan is out, and Ram Showcase Sheriff Joe Bag is out, and let's go.
Peace out. Go Cards.